Hello everyone, I am Dr. Christina Cuellar again with Revival Chiropractic. So last week we talked all about body pH, why you should be tracking it, how it can affect your body, and so I'm really excited today to start talking about some specific action steps that you guys can be doing to start to shift that. So as you'll remember on our last video, we talked about getting some pH strips and starting to test your pH at 4 different times of the day. We also talked about, acidic pH being anything that's below 7.0. Alkaline pH being anything that's above 7.0, and then ideal body pH being right around the 7.4 mark. So as you guys were tracking your pH over the past week, I know you guys tracked it at a couple different times of the day. See where you stand, and if you're finding out that you're below that 7.4 range, then there's a lot of great things that we can start doing to start to shift that, which as a result is going to result in you starting to feel and function a lot better as well too. So, we posted this great blog on our website today at revivalchiropractic.com, and on there we posted a list of foods. So diet is by far one of the best ways to start to affect your body pH. And so we placed a really great list on there, and we'll have a printable list coming out for you soon of all the different foods and where they fall on the pH scale. So some foods are much more acid forming, and then other foods are a lot more alkaline forming. And so, as you can tell, vegetables tend to be a lot more alkaline forming. And when you print out that list, put a little dot next to all the foods that you eat on a regular basis and see if the foods that you're eating tend to fall more on the acidic side or on the alkaline side, so that you can start to get a better idea. And, as you can tell, vegetables tend to be a lot more alkaline forming, which is a good thing. So we know we should be eating our veggies, and now there's just another reason why we should be doing that. So when it comes to, adding more veggies in, don't panic, right? We don't have to change your entire diet straight out the gate. One of the easiest things that you can do is actually just to start adding extra veggies in. So, not necessarily changing every single thing that you're eating, especially for those of you who have families and kids, but first let's just start on adding extra veggies in. And so maybe that means adding a salad to your meal, starting with a salad so that you eat that first and get full before the main meal comes. Or maybe that's adding some roasted veggies to your meal, really great side dish that you can add. For those of you who love stir fries or casseroles, it's really easy to add some extra veggies into that mix so that you're using maybe less rice or less pasta and more of that veggie in there, which can help balance that out, which is a great beginning start, especially for people with kids, and those picky eaters. Another great idea is to start using cauliflower rice. I don't know if you guys have ever made it before, but you throw cauliflower right into your food processor, and it's a great way to have rice, fried rice that you can use in stir fries without actually using rice. And I promise you, most of your family members will barely even be able to tell it's something other than rice. Another great idea is to take things like cooked carrots or cooked cauliflower and mix them in with your kiddos' mac and cheese. So maybe take out just a little bit less of the pasta that's normally in there and throw in some carrots or cauliflower, chopped up, and still put it in the normal sauce and everything. That way they're still slowly starting to incorporate more veggies into that meal instead of the pasta. There's a lot of easy food swaps that you can start doing as well too. And, as you're starting to make that list and putting a dot next to items that you see are more acid forming, think about what an easy switch might be to be able to still have those food and the snacks that you like, but just a simple switch over into something that's more alkaline. So for example, maybe if you like to snack on nuts, maybe instead of having walnuts, you have pumpkin seeds, which are a lot more alkaline. Perhaps instead of using white flour or white rice, you start using brown rice, right? Or brown whole wheat flour. Rice is acidic either way, so it's not ideal, of course, but using brown rice is a lot better than using white rice. Or even better yet, use quinoa in your dishes. So we've started doing a lot of stir fries instead of using rice. You can use quinoa, or like I mentioned before, using things like cauliflower rice instead. For snacks, perhaps instead of having popcorn or chips, maybe have something like cauliflower, not cauliflower, cantaloupe, or watermelon. For those of you who like a crunch, having carrots as a snack is a great way to get that crunch in without necessarily having popcorn or chips throughout the day. Now, another way to really increase your veggie intake is actually through juicing. And for those of you who have juiced before, you may have noticed that it is so easy to have and fit in 1 cup of juice, a whole head of lettuce and a whole cucumber and, a big old bunch of kale. So many more veggies than you would probably eat, if they were sitting on a plate. So juicing is an incredible way to add a lot of veggies to your diet. And, we always talk about eating your fruit, but juicing your veggies so that you can get a lot more of those in there as well too. And we'll post up a couple of our favorite juicing recipes that you guys can start using at home as well too. Another great suggestion to start getting more alkaline foods into your diet is to take 1 meat meal for the week and substitute that for a plant-based meal. So my husband and I, if you guys are anything like us, we used to have animal protein with every single meal. I mean, we would have eggs and bacon for breakfast. We would have, some sort of meat dish for dinner, which of course translated into a meat leftover lunch for the next day. And animal protein, while it always has its place, especially if you're using, grass-fed meat, but it's very, very, very acidic. And so I'm not saying you have to, become vegetarian or vegan, but even if we were to take even just 1 plant or meat-based meal per week and shifting that into a plant-based meal, it'll teach you that plant-based meals are delicious, and it'll get you guys really creative in cooking new meals, but it'll become easier and easier to not have meat with every single meal. So my new favorite breakfast item that I love is chia seeds. And I will take, 2 or 3 tablespoons of chia seeds. I'll mix it with about a cup of almond milk, and I'll add cinnamon and nutmeg. And you want to make this a little bit in advance because it will solidify in the fridge. And it becomes like a pudding, chia seed pudding. And it's so good. It makes me feel like I'm having dessert for breakfast in the morning. And it's a really great plant-based way to get in a lot of protein and a lot of fiber in the mornings instead of having, your bacon and your sausage and things like that. That's also a really great dessert as well too that I've just absolutely fallen in love with. So if you're watching this at home and you have some really great vegetarian meal options that you guys like to use with your families, post a link in the comments and maybe we can start a great thread going of some of our favorite vegetarian meals so that we have a lot of great ideas coming up over the next week. I'll post some of my favorites as well too. And so the last really big way about how to modify your pH that we're going to talk about today is by watching what you drink. So this is huge. So I know that there's a lot of people out there who love your afternoon soda or even your coffee. Trust me, I love coffee too. But the things that we drink have a massive impact on our pH. So remember how we talked about ideal pH being about 7.4? Well, soda actually has a pH of about 1 or 2, which in pH world is an exponential difference. And so if you're watching this at home, I want you to go ahead and post in the comments, how many glasses of water do you think it takes to neutralize 1 glass of soda? So post in the comments, what do you think, how many glasses of water do you think you need to drink in order to neutralize 1 glass of soda? And I'm going to give you another second to write that because you may be surprised to hear that it actually takes 32 glasses of water in order to neutralize 1 glass of soda. So the next time you're about to crack open your afternoon phone calls come into my cell phone, so I'm sorry if that soda there. Next time you're about to drink that soda, I see Christy wrote 3 million. Ask yourself, are you willing to drink 32 glasses of water just to combat that 1 soda that you drink? So other really acidic beverages are things like liquor, beer, coffee, and wine. So, while, things are okay in moderation, just be aware that that's having a massive, massive, massive impact on your pH, and ask if that's worth it for you. Another big thing is that, sometimes people think that diet soda is better than regular soda. And we know that that's actually not true. In fact, diet soda tends to be even more acidic than regular soda. So it actually has a much bigger impact. And, we know the dangers of, artificial sweeteners and whatnot as well, too. So, the best thing that you can do over this next week is to take one of those sodas, swap it for a glass of water, and you're going to be doing your body a whole lot of good. So this week, I'm going to challenge you guys to do a couple things. Number one, first and foremost, check your pH if you haven't already done so. See where you stand, where you fall. Number two is going to be to print our downloadable list of acidic and alkaline forming foods. Put a dot next to those foods that you eat regularly, and then start to think about what could you swap for those, what are some easy swaps that you can make so that your body doesn't even realize that you're doing anything different, but that you're starting to consume more alkaline forming foods. Number three, of course, is to start adding a veggie with every meal. So even if you don't change any of your meal items for the next week and you're nervous about it, just add a veggie. Start with just adding one veggie to each meal and going from there. Challenge number four is going to be to swap one of those meat-based meals out for a plant-based meal, just like we talked about. And then challenge number five is, if you are a soda drinker, to take one of those sodas a day and swap it out for water. I'm going to show you some of my really favorite items next week. Stay tuned. On Monday at 2 p.m., we are actually going to go into Hoover's, which is one of my favorite health food stores here in Altamonte. And I'm going to show you some of my favorite things that you guys can start to incorporate into your diet as well too, which will make the soda swaps a little bit easier. It'll help you get some more veggies in. And so we're going to talk about some of my favorite products there next week. So join us back Monday at 2 p.m. If you have any questions, or again, if you want to share your favorite vegetarian meals, post a link in the comments, because I would love to see your favorite meals that you guys are making for your families. Again, I'm Dr. Christina Cuellar with Revival Chiropractic, and I look forward to seeing you guys all again soon. Bye.